Hey there, welcome to Vision Helpdesk video tutorials. Today we're going to see how to install Vision Helpdesk on a plain Debian server. Now I have this Debian server set up, and before we start with installation, let's just sign up for the free trial, download trial for Vision Helpdesk from a website. Now here select the download license and select the product. Now here you need to enter the license domain name on which you're going to install your Vision Helpdesk license. Now this should be either a subdomain or a valid domain name. You cannot use an IP address or localhost. The license will simply not work on IP or the local host. You need to have at least a local domain name. So I'm just using this subdomain. Now once you sign up for this 30 days trial, you'll receive a welcome email with login details for your billing area, where you can download the zip for Vision Helpdesk file. Now this is the website, that is secure.visionhelpdesk or billing area, and now you have to go to services. Here select the product that you've ordered, and in the downloads tab you can download the zip for Vision Helpdesk file. Now we have got different setup for different PHP versions. So depending upon what PHP version you have installed on your server, just make sure to download the same PHP, the same setup file for Vision Helpdesk. Now the next thing we'll be doing is let's just install the prerequisites that we need. We will need a web server, that is Apache and PHP, then MySQL and Xanga loader for this installation. So on this Debian server, we can use a couple of commands to install. We'll use this apt-get method. Now, first thing we'll do is install web server Apache 2. Once you have installed web server, now we'll install MySQL server. Now when you install MySQL, it will ask you for the root password. You need to enter the root password. Now this is the password that you will be setting for root user for MySQL. Make sure this is different from your server root password. Now we have MySQL installed. Next thing we'll be installing is the PHP. Here you can install, this is the current modules that I'm going to install: PHP 5, then PHP Pure, PHP 5 MySQL, and PHP 5 Curl. This is the basic required modules. There are some additional modules required, like PHP IMAP and a couple of others. So you just need to check from our support portal installation requirements section to see the other modules that are required. So these are the basic modules I'm going to install. Once you install that, you can restart the web server. Now we'll check the PHP version that we have installed. Alright, so we have PHP 5.4. So we'll be needing the Vision Helpdesk setup for PHP 5.4. Now I've already downloaded that setup on my server. Now here's I've already downloaded this setup, and we'll move this file to the web area for the website. Now first we'll have to see whether we have a web server working. I'll use the IP address and simply run this. If you see this page, that means your web server is working, and the default path for Debian is var www. Okay, now I'll add a simple PHP file in order to check whether my PHP is working. Alright, so if you see this page, that means your PHP is working properly. And now you can see the PHP version here and the PHP INI that is being used for this. Now the next thing we have to do is install XenGuard Loader. So you should see the XenGuard Loader here. Now even for the XenGuard Loader, you need to download the XenGuard Loader with respect to the PHP version that you have on your server. We have some help file for installing XenGuard Loader. Just follow these steps to install the XenGuard Loader, and you should be able to download XenGuard Loader. It's freely available on xen.com website, and need to download the respective version, PHP version XenGuard Loader file. Now for PHP 5.5, we've got the file already downloaded here. I should look for something, this file, XenGuard Loader, and this for PHP 5.4 for Linux. I'll extract this file. Now if you see this .so file, we're interested mainly in this file. Now search for the extension dir, where we need to place this XenGuard Loader SO file. Once you've copied the XenGuard Loader file to the extension dir here, now we'll go to PHP INI to add the entry to include the XenGuard Loader file. And if you see, the additional INI files are loaded from this location here. Now here we have Apache 2 and CLI. So we need to add this entry in both the PHP INI file, for one for Wave and one for CLI. Now here's the actual location for the INI files, the additional INI files. We create one. Now we'll enter the exact location for the XenGuard Loader file. Make sure the name that you add here is exactly the same with respect to the file that you have. I will create a symlink. This is the destination file. You create a link. Alright, once we have added a symlink here that points to the actual file that we created and the what's available here. Now we'll just restart the web server. Now if you see, we have this ZGuard loader available on a command line as well as on the web. You see we have now this file included, and here you should see ZGuard loader. For PHP 5.5 and above, we have op cache by default enabled for PHP. You need to disable op cache from the configuration files that you have available here. Now, since we are using here PHP 5.4, so we don't have to worry about the op cache. But normally for a PHP 5.5 or 5.6, there's a Zen op cache that is enabled. You can simply go to the INI file, the additional INI file for the op cache, and you can comment the Zen extension for op cache, and that should be good. Now that we have installed web server, PHP, MySQL, and ZGuard loader, almost we are done now. Now we will be moving the files that we have downloaded for Vision Helpdesk to the web location. And now before we do that, now we have to use the actual domain name that we signed up for the trial. That was desk.imdemo.com. So I'm just going to add a DNS record from our server to point the subdomain to the new IP that is for this web server of Debian. You need to add this A record on your DNS server so that we can have this desk.imdemo.com instead of IP address. Alright, so that's working now. Now the next thing will be we have this setup file for Vision Helpdesk, and we'll move this file to the document root for this web server. This is in a plain server, we normally have via www in case of Debian. So we'll move this file here. I will move the file under the upload folder to www. Now we have these files here, and we'll make this config file in the write mode. Okay, once we have done this, now we can run the setup here. Now, normally in PHP 5 or PHP 5.6, you need to verify the short tag for PHP is on. In our case here, PHP 5.4, normally it's set to on, but I'll just verify. In 5.5 or 5.6 PHP version, you need to make sure you have this set to on. And now we are good here. We can create the database. Now we have the root user for MySQL and the password that we used while creating or while installing MySQL. And you have the database here. I can run the setup. Alright, so we have installed the Vision Helpdesk software. I'll just save this here. Now we need to rename the setup directory. Now if you go to this desk.imdemo.com, okay, we can remove the index file. Now we don't need this HTML file here. We already have the index.php file. Alright, so now you should see this client portal here, and if you use /manage folder, then you can browse the admin or the staff portal. And we use this the admin user and password that we have. Alright, so here you have staff or the admin portal. Alright, so that's how you can install Vision Helpdesk on a Debian server. Thank you for watching Vision Helpdesk video tutorials.